I'll start our stream. First, I'll cough once really loudly. Stream is kicking in. All right. So we have been doing a little preemptive shopping planning for this session off recording, and now we are back. So last time on A Crown of Cold Iron, an old friend of Cyrus's, the childhood friend Alex, has reemerged from the woodwork with an urgent need to see their mentor and uncle figure, Mort. However, Mort has not been seen since a rooftop meeting with Cyrus, where he revealed some fairly heavy things about Cyrus and his shared history. When that meeting was interrupted by a giant feline fey creature of some kind, believed to be the unseen stalker himself. Mort went to lure the beast away and has not been seen since. So, unable to connect Alex to Mort, Cyrus got Alex to reluctantly agree to meet at Lou's. Alex would only meet at some horrible hour in the morning. And when they met, Alex came in the appearance of a human man named Shane Allowen. During this meeting, Alex revealed to Cyrus that they are in fact a changeling, a predominantly fey creature, in this case created from Cyrus's own stolen life essence as a child. Both of them were rescued by an infusion of power from Mort. And since then, Alex has been serving as sort of an assistant and lieutenant to Mort in his more clandestine spook and spy roles. Recently, Alex has been assigned to follow up a group called the Kingsguard. The Kingsguard are a group of human supremacists, is in the neck of the woods. They're certainly a group that is highly suspicious of the Fae and does not want them in Queensboro. And they seem to have recently stumbled into some kind of dungeon cache of magical items beneath the historic Raven Palace. They've not been able to make much progress, but Alex is growing concerned because they are getting farther and farther and adapting to the challenges down there. So they have now recruited the party to assist as the first step in unraveling several larger mysteries, including the Kate C and Oryx Phantom Lady and all of the myriad problems that they are facing. So we left off with Alex resuming the form of Shane Allowen and walking out into the night, having you all promise not to take too long before coming to assist. And now you all are making your preparations. What do you want to do?
Shopping trip.
Shopping massage.
All right. Everybody loads up into Pokey. So you all immediately feel a difference once you load up into Pokey. Pokey is a much loved older sedan that is really at this point only being held together by frequent trips to I think we said that it was Caleb's brother who is a mechanic.
Yeah.
It is only his expertise that is keeping it running. Pokey feels different. It still looks like Pokey. It still has all of Pokey's unique charm. But you can tell behind the wheel, like, Pokey is running smooth. Like,
hasn't run this smooth since maybe
Since it was
Bird.
built.
Yeah, like it's like eerily perfectly quiet and balanced. And everybody make a perception check.
Uh-uh. I didn't do it.
I got 13. For my own damn car.
I also got a 13.
So Cyrus, you notice, yeah, Pokey's definitely clipping along. It's just running better. It seems to be going faster than usual. Lexi and Auric, you all actually notice it's not just that Pokey is running better, it's almost like there is a disproportionate amount of luck and timing that seems to be coming your way. Cars move out of the way right when you need to change lanes. Lights turn perfectly for you to just sail right through. You make your way from Lewes down to Midsum Pawn and Fine Goods, which it's not too far. You're really only talking like the other side of the neighborhood, but it's almost instant. Like you made like as the crow flies kind of time, not downtown traffic time. So you all pull up at Midsum Pawn and Fine Goods, and there are clear signs of renovation happening. It looks like the somewhat dingy, donkey-headed owner, B, has secured the adjoining storefront. Whatever was there before seems to be mostly packed away and gone, and just row after row of additional shelves, the exact same that are in the main body of Midsum Pawn and Fine Goods, now extends all the way through this second storefront. You also see lots and lots of crates. All y'all make a, I'm actually going to call this a history check.
Well, that was a 9.
That was a 9.
Was it 22?
This actually makes perfect sense. Cyrus, so even though you were very distracted, you've had a pretty crazy couple of days of life-altering revelations and conversations, but you have not neglected to check the notifications on your phone. So you saw the story reporting on the widening number of Fey immigrants that passed. It looks like the actual like publicity event was yesterday, but oh, whoops. Yeah, I was definitely describing the barbarian elk ability. So
Sorry.
never mind, wipe it all away.
Really, really shitty.
Clank, 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 clank.
Love and duct tape's what holds Pokey together.
We arrive at Midsum and then reality shifts back.
Yep. You saw a glimpse into, we just did Crown of Cold Iron. What if? So Cyrus, you kind of put 2 and 2 together. The official publicity event yesterday with like the big fancy public signing and all of the photographers and the journalists and all that was yesterday. But the actual like passage of the bill on a bureaucratic side, this treaty, this update, probably actually happened like a week ago. And it would have taken time to sort of plan the party and this whole extravaganza. There's a lot more people coming through the gate all of a sudden. And there's just a lot more Fey activity in town in general. And it looks like B is a direct beneficiary of that. Folks bringing through more unusual items that end up fairly directly on his shelves. So Pokey clanks into a parking place, and y'all make your way inside. Oops.
Man, B, you really expanded.
And actually B looks different as well. So B still has the dirty tank top with like the thick gray chest hair, arm hair, neck hair going on. You all can see through the ring of seaming the huge donkey head, but now there's a clearly secondhand, but like a sports coat over it, and B is directing, and you can actually see the illusion looks like a couple of like big burly construction workers. There's definitely like an ogre and a troll like just knocking this intervening wall down with clubs. And B says, what does B sound like? It's been a while.
Sleazy Italian.
Yeah, it was something in that neck of the woods. So B says, yeah, things have been pretty good. Lots of interesting things going on. Lots of business opportunities. So what brings you fine folks in here? And you don't, there's no way that he would know this, but you would swear that like B looks directly at wherever you keep your wallet. Like he seems to have like wallet sense, like
just here to window shop. Certainly not going to buy anything.
Oh, of course. Of course. Well, if you wanted to window shop some of our new goods, just ignore these two. He just like pats the ogre out of the way, and it just kind of and takes a few steps to the side. And he actually walks you through like the shattered section of wall. And there are all sorts of new items laid out. You're now a little more familiar with how Midsum Pawn and Fine Goods is set up. You see things that look innocuous, but you know that there's heavy illusion magic disguising all of the shelves in here. You see little things like what just looks like simple, like electric battery powered camping lanterns. You see what looks like some kind of like plastic fish in a bowl. The kitschy raven statue that looks like an old like vaudeville kind of actor. That the figurine is still there. There's some fishing nets. It really just looks like a lot of random junk.
On our way into the actual items, I grab a shopping cart.
B definitely notices that and just kind of
Still definitely window shopping. I just like to see how they look in the cart.
he kind of lets y'all sort of look around, and he goes over and starts opening some more crates and pulling stuff out. All right, so Cyrus has pre-selected some items. So the Cyrus is picking up the coil crook, which just looks like a length of like, it actually randomly looks like one of the nicer items in the store. It looks like a sort of modern thin rope of like synthetic fibers, but like tightly coiled together like a survivalist kind of thing. But when you pick it up, it's actually it almost is like a short staff of actually very similar material, but actually instead of being synthetic, it almost has like a spider silk quality to it. And there's a distinctive sort of wisping fey magic that runs along it. Of course, Auric is picking up some of these snow globes of remembrance.
I'm not even asking B what they are. I just see snow globes and put 3 in the cart.
When you pick up the life tether Ankh, laying there, it looks like itself. It looks like an old piece of metal jewelry. But when you pick it up, it's not an illusion. It like writhes in your hand, and changes from an Ankh to that spiraling Triskelion pattern.
Yo, B. What's the deal with this?
B looks at it, clearly doesn't know what it is now, and says, oh yeah, it's 350 gold.
Okay.
Above the table, the effect hasn't changed, but the iconography has been altered by something.
Gonna put that in the metaphorical back pocket. I know Lexi had talked about the catnip amulet.
Yeah, definitely with the catnip amulet.
Auric, make a religion check.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh.
Woo, 9.
So when Lexi picks up this catnip amulet, at first it looks like the illusion is of like a small child's cutesy like cartoon cat, something in like the Hello Kitty kind of family, and when you pick it up, the illusion drops, and it's an unusual symbol. It's still a cat, but it's a cat almost like coiled in like a circle, and it's made of like a glimmering silver, a very different aesthetic than the illusion.
You see that too?
I don't know, do I?
You see it change. Auric might have known what it was.
Might have, if I paid attention in school.
Yeah.
So B is kind of watching a little impressed with the amount of stuff you all are picking up. It's like, geez, if I'd known y'all were gonna buy me out, I would have put more stuff on the shelves.
What you got in the way of healing potions, B?
Now let's see what's back here. And he's digging around because remember last time they're sort of down behind the counter. And he comes back up and he's got it looks like a Sam's Club, like, you know, one of those gigantic oversized not for resale packs of the little hugs, red hugs bottles. And he plops them down and he says, y'all picked a good day. I found a new contact for these. There's like 15 there.
How many you say?
15.
Well, I'm definitely taking like 10.
All right. So B gets you all sort of checked out.
Read what the price on that was.
Oh,
You
I
what?
heard it as 50 gold for 5, and I was like, wow, that's great.
Oh, nope. 5 more at 50 gold each.
Yeah.
So I'll let you all add the regular items, and I'll come back and pull these and create the D&D Beyond entries because I was not going to make one for every single one of those items,
right. Yeah.
especially the ones that need programming. All right. So B gets you all equipped. What else do y'all want to do?
Let's see. So, or can you still afford 10, or do we need to split those up?
Let's see. They're 50
we
a
could-
piece. Yeah,
If there's 15, we could do 5 each.
See, so that would take me to. Yep, I can still get 10.
Okay. I'll buy the other 5. So, and Lexi, since I realized Auric is out of slots for the Sentinel amulet, you want to try it on?
Yeah, I'll try it on.
Cool.
And I can I wear 2 amulets? Because I really want to try that catnip one.
I'm not going to worry about it.
Awesome.
Attunement slots are much more meaningful than like physical,
Right.
unless it's something truly ridiculous, like I want to wear 2 suits of armor.
Yeah.
All right. Anything
Yeah,
else?
So what I got was the shoot, if I can bring I just lost my brain. The
It
catnip
happens.
amulet. But is that something that's gonna have to be added specifically by you? Because I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of these are stuff I'll have to add.
Okay, that's totally fine.
Yeah, and I tried to put the link underneath that way I wouldn't forget where I had pulled these from.
Okay.
Because I do also make a lot of this stuff up. And then I'm like, I don't know if I made this up or I found it somewhere.
So I'm probably going to spend the drive back from these, trying to figure out the new iconography on this Ankh.
Mm,
All right. Just for fun, do you want to try and use tech or just figure it out like looking at it?
I think I'll start just by looking at it, and then if nothing's ringing a bell, it'll go to the smartphone.
All right. Go ahead and make a religion check.
Woo, 19.
All right. You know what this is a symbol of.
The Holy Trinity.
Sort of.
Not yet, not yet.
And unholy Trinity.
You know who would be somewhat jealously policing the religious imagery in your life.
Yeah.
This is not rocket science to figure out.
Yeah. A little disturbing that she has the power to do that, but also probably not surprising.
I mean, with a 19, you would guess, knowing what the Ankh does, and the fact that it's a magical item, you don't think she would necessarily have been able to do that with just anything. But the fact that it was a symbol of like death and life and death, and specifically that place in between, that liminal space of like could die or could live, that is exactly her wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not complaining. Still a little weirded out.
Got a big wet dog. All right, what else do you want to do?
Oh, do you guys mind if we stop at my apartment? I gotta drop these snow globes off.
sure.
Are you going ahead and setting them to anything in particular?
Probably not yet. Let me reread what they do. No, I want to make sure that I'm able to give it some good thought before I permanently set it.
You do notice these snow globes of remembrance. They're specifically like these fine works of fey glass that have been like not even etched with magic. This is such a skilled artisan task that they have breathed magic into it in the process of its making. And so it's this very beautiful sort of classical form of fey memento. And B has slathered the bottom with glue and stuck it to a plastic base.
Wow.
Yep.
That,
The nice
Thank
thing
you,
is that even though it's a snow globe, there doesn't necessarily have to be snow if the memory does not happen in wintertime.
I mean, you don't actually know how the glue and the base might affect the magic.
True. Well, let's test one and imprint into it the memory of the first date with Vela.
Aw.
Okay.
Which moment? At the table with all the candles, or walking along the Vance River, table and candles? It imprints beautifully.
Yeah.
You would almost think that you can hear the sound of that string quartet playing. Although when you tap it, there is just a little bit of snow.
oh, it's that time of night. The happiest time for the kitten.
But it happens in here this time.
But this time it happens in here instead of in the kitchen. Oh, don't fuss.
So anyway, the second and third snow globes will be imprinted at a later time.
All right.
So I think
go ahead.
Cyrus was wondering, I can't remember if we knew if we have to like sneak into the under palace, like past the people, or if there are any other entrances we could either Alex would know about, or we could try to research and find. Although if this is the first one anybody's found in several hundred years, that might be a tall order.
So a couple of pieces of that. And while we do this, Auric, make a perception check. So Alex only seemed to be aware of the one entrance, but the way that he explained Mort's theory was that it was less about finding a physical point of access and more about the magic that was concealing the place failing. It is possible that you might discover other entrances, especially if the magic is failing sort of equally across the entire space and not just like one point at a time. You don't actually know what the distribution is going to be like. The impression you got from Alex was that
Okay, all that.
their heaviest hitters will be at the forefront as they try and progress deeper into this sort of labyrinthian dungeon. But you don't know if there might be lackeys. You get the impression that this is the way they described it. There's a core group who are becoming relatively powerful by sort of everyday human standards. But there's also a cloud of sort of hanger-ons who are assisting inside the labyrinth, and there might very well be folks watching outside as well. Alex might be able to arrange for you all to get in, or you might even be able to arrange something yourselves.
Okay.
Auric, with that check, you realize you haven't seen your Ring of Obscuring in a while. And you realize this right around the same time. So when you go to drop off the snow globes, there is an envelope on your counter.
Oh.
The envelope is heavy, like there is something inside it, other than just paper.
I guess I'll open this up.
This is not a letter from Lord Lambton. This is a note from Vela. And it says, "You big scaly dummy, I fixed your ring. Don't you dare die on me." And sort of examining it, it takes a minute because it's a much more like methodical use of magic than your sort of intuitive, like, but it seems like Vela has either herself or someone she knows has basically cracked into the source code of this and tweaked it a little bit. You can now see through your own cloud when you use your Ring of Obscuring.
Oh, good.
You also find sort of tucked in there as well is a spell scroll. It looks, as far as the materials and the way that it is done, it looks almost identical to the one she provided for you to learn Vela's mass and kindling. And it'll take you a while to learn it. It is not a cantrip. It looks like it's a level 1 ritual spell. But the title is Oryx's Bed of Gold.
This sounds fantastic.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Oryx's Bed of Gold.
All right. So do you want to reach out directly to Alex? Do you want to try and do some other forms of research? Any other preparations you'd like to make? Any folks you all want to check in with?
Sounds like a resounding no.
All right.
Might be to check in with.
I can't think of anybody to check in with. Yeah, I can't decide on hunting for other ways in. But if that'll take time, and if we need to get a move on.
Yeah, we need
They said you've got a couple of days, but you're not quite sure what will happen over the course of a couple of days.
move quickly.
So, yeah. So I guess if Alex can get us a window, can find us a window to try to sneak in, because I don't relish trying to three of us bluff our way past everybody.
Yeah, no.
All right. So it definitely takes a while for Alex to respond to your message. But after a while, you all manage to arrange a time, and Alex gives you a location that is it's actually like several blocks away from the location of what's called the Raven King's Palace. It's sort of at the center of Old Imperial. The actual location that you're given is actually getting out towards the edge. You're several streets away. And as you all sort of approach, you start to see like roadwork signs, like minute work, like orange cones and tape and various things. I assume you're probably going to park Pokey a good distance away.
Yeah. Gotta protect the folk.
So how do you all want to approach?
Carefully.
I'll let Cyrus take the lead.
All right. Are you stealthing, walking up? Anything you want to?
I'll stealth it.
All right. Make a stealth check.
I just added expertise in this, so
I
might as
know
well
it's
use
going
it.
to be insane.
That's a 14 with my natural 4.
Okay, maybe
Whoa.
less so. I wasn't even going to roll this. Let me like find something to roll.
Hey, that plus 10 really helps though.
It did.
True.
That's pretty crazy.
And in just a couple more levels, natural ones no longer exist.
Right.
Make a perception check.
22.
All right. So you thankfully notice them about the same time they notice you. You're able to kind of hear, it sounds like several voices, not like whispering, but just sort of like talking out ahead of you. As you sort of stealth closer, you can see where almost like right at the center of an intersection, the intersection has been shut down, and it almost looks like a sinkhole. Like there's just a giant hole into the ground that disappears out of your sight, and there are math. There are 5 visible human individuals, all wearing like reflective vests and hard hats, and they have lights and things. They're just kind of talking amongst themselves. With your perception check, you can see that there are like firearms tucked under these vests and like into like the waistbands of their clothing.
All right. So I'm gonna shift the mantle to like, I want him to have, he's gonna have the like reflective vest, but it's like over like a business, like kind of like a business shirt and tie. And just go like walking straight up, and be like, hey fellas, I'm sorry, but regulations, man, we can't be out here right now.
Go ahead and kick this off with a deception check with advantage.
'23.
Oh, nice.
They are definitely confused and a little suspicious. And the first one, it's 3 men and 2 women. And one of the women comes up and is like, wait, who are you?
And so I don't know, can I like, well, no, I don't know if I want to try to fake a clipboard. That might be too easy to spot. So as you go, look, I'm Department of Public Safety just sent me over. There have been the concerns about the safety of the area and and everything that's going on here. So we've got to cordon it off and close it up. They're bringing in
I'm not cleaning up.
somebody over, somebody's boss's boss is worried about safety and bringing in some experts. And so they sent me out here in the middle of the night to make sure we were all cordoned off and all ship shape for till those folks get here.
So they kind of look at each other, and there's definitely some like confusion, like they're torn because you fit the part to an extent, and they kind of like huddle together. Make a perception check.
$14.
Yeah, I guess it's very, very muffled. You can't hear what they're saying, but you do see one of them like start to like write a text message.
Lexi and Oric, how far back are y'all?
I think
I don't know.
I think when I noticed you being noticed, I was probably not going to be as concerned with staying too far back. So if you were in any way indicating for us to come forward, I would have come.
Yeah, same.
I'm more wondering like so I can't think of anybody else that I could. So like if I call Oric. Do I think Oric is the type of person who has left his phone on silent?
I mean, I feel like that's a low technology check
Okay. For me or for Oric?
for Oric.
Okay.
This is to see if Oric would have thought to turn this off.
Well, shit.
3.
So you wouldn't know that, but Oric has definitely not turned his ringer off.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Transformers ringtone starts playing.
All right. So who would Cyrus think is gonna sound? Who does Cyrus think is gonna sound scarier over the phone? Who do I think is going to sound scarier over the phone?
I don't know.
Actually, come to think of it, Cyrus has heard Lexi boss around the bar, so I think Cyrus, yeah, all right, Cyrus is going to call Lexi. So maybe same question, whether Lexi has thought to silence her phone.
All right, so technology roll here. Eight. However, Lexi is probably the type to not have a special ringtone.
Mhm.
Oh, Colby, I think you're mute.
No.
So I think what this is Lexi has like the equivalent of like it might not be the brand, but I know on some iPhones, at least in the past, you could turn the ringer like 95% of the way down, but if you didn't flip the switch, it didn't actually go silent and would still ring a little. I think that's what Lexi has, like, because the bar is usually loud enough that like you don't even notice it on that very low mode, but here on this very empty street, you hear just a little bit of like a some little clip of like MIDI classical music plays for a second. Well, so Lexi, make a sleight of hand check.
Oh, well, of course I roll a nat 20 on that one.
You are so lucky. They rolled a nat 3. So they're still sort of talking amongst themselves and don't notice Lexi's phone audibly start ringing like just up the alleyway.
All right. So Cyrus is gonna so as soon as Lexi picks up, Cyrus is gonna start like deliberately over talking so that this group can hear him. And it's gonna be like, hey boss, yeah, I'm out here at the hole like you said. And I told them we gotta cordon off and close it up for tonight, but they're still just hanging around. Look, what else do you want me to do? What else do you want me to tell them?
Fire him.
And he's gonna cover the make a big deal of like holding it for a second and like stage whisper like, guys, look, it's gonna be my ass if y'all don't pack up here, and trust me, y'all don't want to see my boss when they get all riled up. If y'all could just do me a solid and we'll close it up for tonight and we'll figure all this out in the morning. Hey, what do you say?
They wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
So, all right, so let's do this check first. So Lexi has no idea what is happening. So Cyrus is going to roll deception and Lexi is going to roll insight. And this is going to be a combined roll because this is Cyrus trying to convey what she's supposed to do and for her to pick it up without you explicitly saying it.
I got a 6. I would like questioning on that because I cannot see it because it's hiding behind the 20. It's hiding. I cannot see it.
Lexi, you are not 100% sure what's going on.
Cyrus, what? What?
Hey boss, yeah, there's 5 folks out here and they're I told them we gotta leave the spot for the day, but for the night, but until the specialists get here and check it out.
Do I catch on?
I don't think you catch on. The dice say that you did not catch on. So Cyrus, make one more deception check at disadvantage.
Okay. $21. This is such weird feast and famine.
And expertise. Those weren't even like super great rolls. Yeah, that was a 14 and a 16, which is all right. There's definitely some awkwardness because like audibly Lexi is like whispering like Cyrus, what? But you managed to very like theatrically convey this, and you see the woman kind of like is like surreptitiously looking at the others like, and the other woman is just like, and they kind of resignedly start to walk away. But you see more text messages being sent very rapidly.
Sounds like we're gonna have to move our butts.
Cyrus will just like give a, hey, thanks y'all, I appreciate it. We'll get all the paperwork straightened out and get back to this once we know it's all safe.
So they disappear down the street. You don't know quite to where. And you are left with a bunch of like safety road gear in a giant sinkhole.
Like you do.
Yeah, time to come forward. Cyrus, what?
Yeah, so Cyrus will hang up and text like, coast is clear.
What the hell, Cyrus? Did you butt dial me?
Did you text that to both of us or just to Lexi?
Yeah, I'll text it to both of you.
My text notification is very loud.
All right, you have a sinkhole.
So Cyrus is like, I needed somebody to play, in case I needed somebody to play Scary Boss.
Oh, okay. I'll remember that for later.
I could be a scary boss too.
So you can see there's the kinds of, again, much like brewing, delving into an area I don't know very well. You see what looks like the various components necessary to like rebuild this section of the road. You see some like some pieces of like reinforcement, and it looks like they've been kind of like half-heartedly working on this. And there's like a pile of rubble that's been pushed to the side where the edges have been kind of cleaned so that people didn't step and plummet. It looks like it drops a full 10 to 15 feet down.
Oh, lovely.
There was a very substantial, they wouldn't have built like, the sewer didn't open like directly under the street. So there was a substantial amount of like, this is a much older part of town. This is probably like some kind of old stone, kind of cobbled type road. And it looks like maybe they have been set aside for like historic reconstruction purposes to see if they can be saved. But it's a pretty long drop.
Yeah.
Not as long as I thought it would be. Is there are there any handholds or anything for us to climb down instead of like jumping?
Should have bought that moving ladder.
Man.
Let's just roll a pure luck check.
Okay.
Somebody give me a D20 roll.
I'm on it.
Okay.
I
Hell.
shouldn't have been on it. 2.
You actually see what looks like a ladder that had been like propped up against the edge that people were using to get up and down. And it actually looks like part of it has been, whatever was anchoring it came loose and it has actually fallen down below. So you can see it like down into the sinkhole. There's like a raised section along the edges as like a maintenance walkway, and then like a low area that looks like probably it had, sewage running through it at one point, and now it just looks like probably less than an inch at the bottom. Because you can see the ladder like sitting in it and sticking up above.
Well, Pool's not that deep, right? We can jump.
I mean, I've got rope and a baton. Or could I? How much can I carry? I don't know how much ladders weigh. Could I mage hand it?
It definitely weighs more than 5 pounds or 10 pounds.
Okay, yeah.
This is like a workman's ladder made for like putting people on like rooftops carrying a bunch of equipment and stuff. I mean, I would say with the ropes and the equipment you have, it'll be a fairly low check. Athletics or acrobatics with advantage because of the equipment.
To set it or just to go down?
To go down.
Okay.
With advantage, you said.
Yep.
All right.
With advantage is still a 12.
Ooh.
I'm either
24.
everything is 1 to 4 or like high teens. That's it.
So Cyrus and Auric make it, but like Lexi, you get down there with style. How do you do that?
I guess I kind of scaled down the rope like like a rock climber, but also then end with a twist and land, like Carrie Strug, but not on one foot because I didn't break my ankle and get forced to do another run down the vault with it.
And I think you're just in time. So Auric gets down okay. Cyrus, I think maybe it's because you're trying to like do something fancy to like pull it down behind you, and something just does not work correctly, and so like you and the pythons and the rope are all just like coming down, and Lexi like full like baby catches you.
That looked smoother in my head.
Save me a spell slot.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, at 15 feet is I think 1d10 damage. Like y'all level 6 now, you'd be all right.
Wouldn't hurt that much.
I was about to cast Featherfall, and then Lexi was just like, I got him.
Gotcha.
So there's 2 ways to go down here, but you all know which way to go.
Sorry, say that again.
There's 2 ways to go. You're not at like a junction or anything. Like the sewer access here only runs in sort of one direction. So you could go ahead of you or behind you, but you just know that it's ahead of you.
Okay. Perfect. Sounds good. I think I have a flashlight, yeah.
Yeah, time to pull out the flashlight.
Trying to pull out the flashlight.
I was gonna say, yeah, there is no light at all down here once you get away from this hole.
Yeah, I have a flashlight.
All right. So the flashlights illuminate. This isn't as old as you would expect. It's still old, but this is like maybe like post-Republic era. So like 1500 or later. And you kind of extrapolate that maybe much like this was stumbled into now, when they installed these sewers, they stumbled into the ruins under the palace. And that was how this connection was originally made. So the section you're in right now is old but workable stonework. It doesn't smell great. But it's not as bad as it could be either.
Yeah.
And especially you all are kind of along the sides, so it's not awful. And there's several twists and turns, but you don't know how to put words on it. All three of you know where you're going. You don't have to check a map. There's no survival roll. Like, you just know you're going to go straight here, left, right, straight, straight, right, straight. And with that last turn, you see the quality of the stonework change. This sort of like worked stone, sort of finished sewer seems to connect to what looks more like what was maybe a natural cave system at one point, but has been clearly like carved out further, but not recently. And everybody make a perception check.
Nat 20.
9.
16.
So all of you get a strange vibe down here. You feel like something is beckoning you forward. Cyrus, you also catch, there is something familiar about the atmosphere down here. This doesn't feel like it's not the same as when the same as like the hellscape or sort of the Fey primordial Fey jungle that you all first encountered. But you feel that definite sense of being in an alternate space. As soon as you step across this, you know that in some important way, you are now disconnected from the traditional human realm at large. Lexi with a nat 20. You see light. And it has nothing to do with your flashlight. There are markings on these walls, and they are glowing clear as day with faint amber white fire.
Okay.
Keep pressing on.
Yeah.
All right. So this light starts off as just like faint trails, hardly even a pattern to them, just like faint lines getting darker as you get closer to something. But slowly it starts to become thinner lines of light weaving into different patterns. And you start to see this Triskelion pattern. You start to see motifs of ravens, of battlefields. There's almost like a mural carved into these walls. Cyrus, make a Make a perception check with advantage.
$16.
You're not seeing this mural along the wall. You are getting that uncomfortable physical sensation that you had talking to Mort, sitting with Alex. It's almost like there is an ultra bass sound that is resonating in your gut and in your chest. You hear the flapping of gargantuan wings. Not nearby, you catch a little glimpse of a room, and you know you've never seen it before, but somehow you know that somewhere out ahead of you there is a massive high ceiling chamber. And just from the physical proportions of this space, that chamber shouldn't exist. It would extend above ground. But you know that it's there somewhere. And there's tables and chairs and rugs and carpets. It almost looks like a sort of rough and tumble banquet hall that has been completely abandoned. But something is flapping in the shadows up above. Auric, make a perception check.
5.
That's appropriate. You are standing at the base of a green hill. There's fresh growing spring grass running all the way down. Your outfit is filthy and green and brown. You've got little bits of grass in your hair. The knees on your squat little legs are roughed up, and your head is still kind of spinning as you've rolled down this hill. And a woman with dark hair and a dark cloak and a very like stern and ominous demeanor. Her face just breaks into this huge warm laugh as you pick yourself up off the ground and like wave up to her, and you're back in the sewer. And now you're all seeing these patterns. Lexi still sees this like amber white. Cyrus, you see almost sort of like a smoking purple black. And Auric, you see not that you would have any point of comparison. It's a similar color, but it's almost more of a silver black. These sort of impossible combinations of light and color. And this whole hallway stretching out ahead of you are these beautiful ancient murals. at the end, you see a set of double doors. And the mural continues and sweeps up onto the doors, but all of the sort of individual images sort of fade as it gets to the door. And at the center, again, is this massive triskelion symbol, these 3 spirals interlocked by a triangle at the center.
I'm getting real creepy vibes here, guys.
Cool.
I guess we need to go through the door.
Probably.
Is it like giving off any sense?
All 3 of you make a charisma saving throw.
Uh-uh.
That's different.
18.
15.
7.
Ouch.
Auric and Lexi, even though there is a decidedly ominous vibe here, like there definitely is, it's hard to say how much of that is just the fact that like it's underground and it's old and it's mysterious. But you find yourself feeling like weirdly positive about being here. Lexi, you would definitely, it strikes you as something in the same family of feeling as being at Lou's. It's not as strong, and it's not the same flavor to it precisely, but there is an inexplicable sense of belonging. And Auric, you're getting something similar. It's rooted less in like you don't have as much of this affiliation with Lou's the same way. It feels more like I know that we've discussed that Auric has a weird relationship with his family on some levels.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's appropriate. This feels like standing outside of the door to your parents' home.
Oof. Oh, you mean that like literally? I was thinking more like metaphorically, like the dread.
Well, there is kind of a weird mixed sense of like, I mean, the 2 words that I would draw from that are home and strangeness.
Okay.
Cyrus, you want to open those doors. Like you feel very strongly you should open those doors and go through.
Do I have enough, like, could I try the magnifier first? Or am I just like, nope, I got to go for it right now?
Yeah, it's not like a full-blown compulsion.
Okay.
It's just a very powerful feeling.
Cool. Yeah. So I want to walk up to it and try this, like, and look through. So I guess I got to get right up next to the door because it's 1 foot.
All right. This is
Can
the
I do
Arcanist
the
Magnificent
door?
Magnifier.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Are you going to cast Identify from it?
I was thinking about just trying the check.
All right.
Although I don't know if I took expertise in investigation, how does that work with this?
What I would say is it would give you your proficiency again, not
Okay.
like not double expertise, but like
I don't have a plus 18 in
No.
investigation.
you'd get another like +3 or
3.
whatever it is.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. So yeah, so I'm gonna go full like. I was gonna say Sherlock Holmes, but this probably looks more Scooby Doo, like with a magnifying glass, like right up next to the door.
Get your Scooby snacks out.
So that's a 4, but plus
Oh.
12. So
I feel like your
16.
expertise is like cursed. This is how I feel in my Thursday night game. I have like maxed like perception, insight, and something else. And whenever it's a skill that like I should do well, I always roll like a 2.
Yeah.
So on a 13, it's hard to
16.
break on
16.
16. Okay, it's a little bit better. The door itself is not necessarily the thing that you're feeling here, except in that the door is part of a much larger arcane construct that runs deeper into this place. The door itself doesn't have like a specific spell on it.
Okay.
With a 16, I'll say you do catch like this fading edge of, this is something probably from examining like this pattern around the door. Looking closely, you can see this frame around this Triskelion pattern. There are runes carved into it, but unlike the rest of this mural, the runes are like only very, very faintly glowing. And you feel like these, based on what you've learned thus far, you would guess that these are part of the system that was hiding this place. And they seem to have faded for some reason.
Okay. So we open in, open out.
It seems like they open in.
Okay.
That's against fire code.
It's sewer.
Clearly
So-
something more sewer.
Cyrus will try to quietly open the door.
Actually, the door does not open, but also you can't take your hand off.
Oh.
I'm not sure where you meant to reach, but your hand is now over one of the spirals of this Triskelion, and it's humming faintly under your hand, and it's starting to glow more brightly than the rest of it.
Oh boy.
So Cyrus will like look over his shoulder. I guess we all touch one.
I guess we do.
I'll go up and you go down.
So you all kind of do a little bit of wall twister. And as each of your hands goes on it, Lexi, as your hand hits, that amber white fire runs through it. Auric, as yours hits, these lines of silver black. It's not so much fire as like this sort of pure arcane light. And it meets this wisping black purple shadow in the middle. And there's a feeling the closest thing I can think of is like when someone has a newer model car and they have the like the signaling key fob thing. And they walk up to the car, and the car automatically unlocks. There is a weird sense that this door seems to recognize you three. And you each feel a heat on your hand. Not unpleasant, but decidedly warm. And it's strange because you feel it first on the palm where you're touching this, and then you can feel it on the back of your hand. And Lexi, this would be the same hand, whichever one you cut with the light shard.
Right.
And there is a sense of pressure, and then the door comes open. Each of you now has a mark on the back of that hand.
It's like the Triforce.
Clearly not wisdom, so.
So that's true.
And you all it's hard to say if it's something that's truly spoken out loud or if it just arrives in your mind. But you hear words that are it sounds like actually the language that a little bit like the language that Alex used when he said the name of his raven. It sounds like the language that Auric found in several of the very, very, very old documents in the research at the Blackthorns. It's this very, very ancient dialect of Common, but there's something else woven through it. And you hear these 4 words, and Lexi, you know that one of these words means sword. And Cyrus, you know that one of these words means shadow. Auric, you feel like your head is splitting open. There is a horrible headache that just rips through your brain. And you know this language. You know what these words mean. And you hear it as a sort of wisping, sibilant echo around you, like lots of voices speaking, and they just keep echoing these 4 words. And it says, sword, song, crown, and shadow. And there's like a ghostly choir whispering these words over and over and over as you fall to your knees and the door swings open into the ruins beneath the Raven Palace.
Dun, dun, dun.
And that's where we're going to stop for the week. So I will go through and turn these into actual actionable D&D Beyond items. And we will come back next week to explore the depths of the Raven Palace. For convenience sake, if you don't already have one, maybe go ahead and sign up for a Roll20 account. I think that it'll be handy to be able to let you all directly manipulate your own tokens, since we're going to get into a little bit more, classic dungeony crawl happening here.
Mm.
And we'll come back to this next week.
All right.
I'm going to kill the stream, kill the recording.